Hey everyone, what's up? It's Jay with Battle Tested Business. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, retired after 20 years. And today my guest Chris is also a Navy veteran, and he has a really cool business that I want to push out to you guys. One of the reasons that I'm starting this podcast is to get information out to veterans that want to start businesses, that want to get moving forward, and just don't have the know-how or the understanding to get to the first and second, third, fourth stages and start scaling a business. So we're gonna go over trials and tribulations, struggles, and everything that we've had to overcome going from military to civilians and starting our businesses and becoming successful. Chris, welcome to the show.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Hey, no doubt. So man, tell me a little bit, how long were you in the Navy?
14 years.
14 years. Okay, why didn't you go all the way to 20?
I was medically retired.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you getting that good disability?
Yep.
Nice,
yeah.
nice. What'd you do in the Navy?
Explosive ordnance disposal. Yeah.
EOD.
Yeah. EOD.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So NSW.
Yep.
Nice, man. Nice. So where did you deploy the most to?
Africa.
Africa. Mm-hmm. Djibouti?
I was there. Yeah.
Okay.
Camp Lemonade.
Yeah. Going out. Did you go out in town at all or no?
Oh yeah, plenty. Yeah.
Do you remember Lemonnier Square?
I don't remember calling anything Lemonnier Square, but I mean, I was there at the bombing at the cafe. So in 2014.
Okay,
yeah.
So back in the day when I was there in 2010, there was a pizza place called The Mask out there.
Not sure.
And
I think I ever visited that.
It was right there in the middle of the square of the town.
Okay.
And it was a flatbread.
Was it Café La Chaumière?
No.
La Chaumiere's because that was like in like a bit of a square right there.
Right. I've been there. They had good burgers there.
Oh, that's where that bombing was.
Yeah. But no, it was across the street and a little to the side.
Okay. Spent a fair amount of time at the Sheraton, the Kempinski, but
yeah, Kempinski.
Yeah.
The pool.
We did a lot of diving and stuff like that. I didn't spend too much time in the actual in Djibouti, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I remember going out to the square and we went to this place called Mask.
Okay.
And it was a little pizza spot. And you know, I'm kind of picky with my pizza, right? And they didn't really have anything that I was used to, but I decided to go with some kind of chicken spicy pizza, and dude, to this day, it was one of the best pizzas I ever had. You know what I mean? And of all places,
yeah,
a turd of a town in Djibouti.
Yeah. Right? Well, it's all French, you know?
Yeah.
That's where all the influence comes from.
It's crazy, man, but it was really good food, though.
French food is good.
Yeah. The burgers at Lemonnier Cafe was good, too.
Yeah.
I remember the burgers and fries. The burgers were small, though, but I remember it was good. That's crazy. So what was your most memorable moment in the Navy?
Most memorable? I think it's an impossible question to answer. That's very loaded for me.
Could be good or bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, good or bad. I mean, I'd say they're all in tandem. There's not one in particular that sticks out as worse or better or vice versa. I've got so many memories from my time in service. So plenty of good ones, plenty of bad ones. I don't know. That's a tough question. Should have prepped me for that one. Could have probably really thought that one through. But yeah, off the top of my head, I couldn't name one particular moment that I could say like definitively that was the best.
How about this? What was the most fun thing you did while you were in the Navy?
Most fun thing I did. It's very conglomerated. I mean, I enjoyed the shit out of everything we did. I enjoyed shooting, I enjoyed diving, I enjoyed jumping, I enjoyed blowing shit up. Enjoyed going way too fast in vehicles off road and side by side and all sorts of stuff. You know, it was a lot of fun mixed in with a lot of absolute misery. You know, so
I get that. How about favorite mission? Or most fun mission?
Probably, I did a FID, basically train the trainer for a counter IED course for the Amazon forces. So the people fighting against, al-Shish Kebab, as we call them. But yeah, the entire, basically Horn of Africa between Burundi, Uganda, Kenya, Sierra Leone, Djibouti, all those countries that were fighting against the terrorist activities in Somalia. So we did an entire counter IED course for them in a place called Archer's Post in northern Kenya. So we flew into Nairobi, spent a little bit of time there, and then spent quite a bit of time up in Archer's Post. So I would say that was probably the most fun I had. It was a very, very good, fun experience. We stayed at the closest you could get, I guess you could say, to an all-inclusive resort in Archer's Post. It was really cool. There was like monkeys on property. Like I came back to my room one day and there was monkeys inside of my room, like going through the sugar packets. They had climbed through the window.
And you were just like,
and I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, and it was the funniest thing because like I remember walking in and being like, what is happening right now? There's like these little velvet-faced monkeys were in my room pilfering the sugar out of like the little tea section. It was hilarious.
At least they weren't taking your clothes.
Yeah. That, and then there was like a giant crocodile because there was like it was right on a riverbed, right on a bank. So like elephants and giraffes would walk right up, and there was a crocodile just like right at the fence line one day, and it was like just underneath the fence line. And this thing was like probably like 12, 13 feet long, just like hanging out.
Just chilling.
And we were just like, so we didn't approach that thing. But yeah, it was really cool. It was like being in a safari as close as you could be without actually being
in a safari.
In the safari. They had a pool there, and all the meals were inclusive. So we get up every morning, go have breakfast at like their thing, and then dinner was like a whole event, and they would set everything up. So that was good. And then the days were pretty relaxed. We just did counter IED stuff and trained them on how to not get blown up in Somalia when they went out there. So that was good.
That's really cool and really similar to mine. Like my favorite mission was Kenya.
Kenya's awesome.
Yeah, I was down in Manda Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'd wake up, go over to our little DFAC, get our food, and you'd come out and there'd be this giant. It wasn't a tiger. It was a spotted cat with a big striped tail, big fluffy tail, and the thing was probably 200 pounds.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Like I opened the DFAC door and this thing was just sitting there looking at me. And I was like, shit. And I shut the door and I looked over to the Force Pro guys and I was like, yo, we got a big ass cat out there. And they're like, what do you mean?
What kind of cat was it? You still don't know to this day? I mean, lions are about twice that size.
Yeah, it wasn't a lion.
Obviously
for
not.
It was spotted.
Weird.
Yeah, and they had a
not a leopard?
No, and it had a big, thick, fluffy, striped tail.
That's wild.
And just huge fangs, dude. And it wasn't even like hissing at me. It was like yawning. It was like, and I was just like, oh, shit.
It was a guy in a suit, dude. You got trolled.
Dude, no. I made the mistake of feeding it.
Yeah.
Because I needed to get back to the talk, right? So I went back in the DFAC. I had my little styrofoam, food container because I was on watch.
So it became the camp cat.
And
that's your fault.
Yeah. And I went in there and, it's like buffet style, right? And they had chicken nuggets that day. So I grabbed like.
So your boy had some chicken nuggets.
I just grabbed a handful of chicken nuggets, dude, popped the door open, tossed them through its feet. It ran, started eating the chicken nuggets, and I took off to the top. You know what I mean?
Lucky it didn't chase you down, dude. It's a bigger meal.
It came back almost every day.
So it was docile
for a couple of weeks.
Maybe you weren't the only one. Maybe it wasn't your fault.
Yeah, I don't think I couldn't have been the first because that camp's been there forever, right? And when we didn't have chicken nuggets, I'd give it lunch meat. I'd chuck it and it would go that way and I'd go to my office, And I remember one time.
Did you name him at least?
Nah. I remember one time, man, we were trying to land one of the C-130s for our supply runs. And there was a lion chilling on the runway. And, we pull up in the cars. We had Land Cruisers and stuff, right? Because you got to roll incognito in Africa. You can't just roll around in Humvees.
Yeah, we had Land Cruisers, yeah.
And we pull up, and there's this huge lion laying there, and the Air Force is like, yeah, we're not landing. There's a lion on the runway. I'm like, dude, if you land, it'll leave. They're like, they're endangered. We can't. So we're like, well, we can't shoot it. You know what I mean?
Oh, damn.
So we just roll up in the cars, flash high beams, honk the horn, and it just looked at us.
Yeah, they don't care.
It was just like, I will kill you. Like, I don't care about you. I will kill you. Let me sleep. And it was just like, so we get out and start throwing rocks at it.
I was just gonna say.
So eventually this thing gets up and walks off slowly, but he's looking back at us and he's snarling.
Was it a male?
Yeah.
The mane? Oh,
yeah.
Man. Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
And it wasn't a full grown one yet.
Yeah.
Like it didn't have the big mane, but it had a mane.
Yeah. So it wasn't part of his pride.
He was still probably 350 pounds.
Of course, yeah.
Big boy. And I was just like,
it was so funny you bring that up because when we were at Outriders Post, we had drivers. So they took us everywhere in the Land Cruisers. And we did a safari one day, which really just means you're going on protected land and you're just driving around until you see some shit, right? But we hadn't seen any lions that day. We had gone another day and we watched a lion literally kill prey and eat it in front of us, like right in the middle of the road.
That's
We're like,
awesome.
This is sick. We had to get there right at dawn when they hunt. But anyways, we had taken another couple guys with us that had never seen a lion, so we were trying to find him, and the driver's like, I'm familiar with the area, let me find it. So he drives off the beaten path, like completely off the road, and he stops and he's like looking around. He's this tiny little black dude, and he's Muslim, and his name was Rashad. I'll never forget. He gets out, he's looking around, he bends down, he picks up a rock, and it wasn't small, it was like this big, and he throws it, and we're all sticking out of the top of the Land Cruiser, like looking for the top lion. We can't see anything, right? And he smokes this female lion, like right in the head, and then like 7 lions pop up, and we're like, Rashad, get in the car, get in the car, get in the car, because he can't see him. The grass was super tall. And he like runs and gets in the car, and they just start walking over, and we're like, oh, we're so fucked.
Yeah, because they climbed on top of it.
They ended up leaving us alone, it was fine, but we were just like, oh my God, dude, Rashad's crazy.
Yeah. we had a little Kenyan dude named Blue. So it was, you're my boy, Blue.
Yeah, you're my boy, Blue.
Yeah, that was his name. He said his name was Blue, so it was, all right, you're my boy, Blue.
My boy, got it. All right, old school.
Yeah, he was awesome, man. Anything you needed, man, he'd pick it up in town from you or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, before we get into it, man, one of the craziest, weirdest things that we encountered was when we had a low cloud cover and the C-130 couldn't land. So it says because, you know, reservist Air Force pilots, then they're not landing if there's for no, you know, it's not a combat zone. So like, no, we're going to go to Mombasa.
Yeah, we're going to chill.
And you can meet us at the airport.
Yeah.
Well, that's a 6-hour drive on a dirt bumpy road away.
It ain't fun.
And it sucked. So we go, and it's my team, which was, you know, I'm a comms guy, so I do the comm stuff. Our SWIT guys, couple Army Force Pro guys, couple Rangers. And we're heading down this dirt road, and we come into some traffic. And these 2 kids hop out the car with AKs because all they see is blacked out Land Cruisers. So they think it's somebody with money and important. What he got was 3 Land Cruisers full of operators.
Yeah, they're not
right. And so
they're like, ooh,
yeah,
it's our bad.
So the doors pop open. Everybody's kitted up.
Of course they are.
So we all hop out with our M4s and drop to a knee, and we're just, you know. And these kids start hollering in whatever language they say, throw the AKs in the air and just take off running. They left the car parked on the road.
I'm sure they
just ran. Yeah. Dude, we laughed so hard, picked up the AKs, threw them in the trunk, you know, and kept going. But it was hilarious, man.
I don't have a story like that one, but there was, it was embedded with development group, and we went out and blew a bunch of stuff up. And at the range that we would use, there was just, it was in the middle of fucking nowhere. But somehow, there was like an advanced warning system, and they would tell us, or they would tell the locals that, I don't even know where the fuck they live, like behind a rock, I guess.
They were coming.
We were coming. And so as we were leaving, we had a couple of pickup trucks. And
is this over in Africa?
This kid reaches in the back and grabs a backpack and starts sprinting off in flip-flops, of course, through the rocks. And of course, he had to steal from the worst truck. This is our biggest dude. He was like 6'7", 240 pounds. He gets out and starts sprinting after this tiny little kid. And the kid freaks the fuck out, throws the backpack in the air, trips, and face plants into the rock. And then he's like crying, like screaming. And the guy was like, well, I'm not gonna do anything to him. And I was like, can't take my bag. I got shit, I got stuff in there. You know?
My kit's in there.
Yeah, exactly. But he thought it'd be a good idea to just steal out of the back of the thing. I was just like, dude, you picked the wrong one.
That's awesome.
Pretty funny.
Tell me this, brother. How has your military experience, everything that you've been through, helped benefit you or challenged you to get into business and start your business?
As far as challenge, you know, I came actually from a corporate background before I joined. So I had already been in sales, and I was a vice president of sales somewhere at a weapon accessory company prior to my service. So transitionally, it was pretty simple, but my job in the military, it kind of makes you really want to dive into things 2, 3, 4, 5 levels deeper to get a really good understanding of things, right? With ordnance, you can't just assume it's just ordnance, right? You have to learn everything about the ordnance. So you should be able to identify it, the way that it works and the way that it's going to detonate before you even make an approach to it, right? You should have an idea of what you're walking down on before you ever walk down on it. And that goes with, you know, improvised explosive devices or anything in general. So it really starts to give you a higher level of understanding of always go a layer deeper and a layer deeper and a layer deeper until it's like, okay, this level of understanding I don't need. I don't need to know where it's manufactured, the firing pin, so to speak. But I do know that there's a firing pin in there, and I know how it's going to, actuate, so to speak. So for me, it just really started to give me a mindset of trying to dig a bit deeper and get a better understanding of stuff, not just surface level. Okay. When I worked in corporate before, I learned my job. I was very specific with it. I was good at sales, and I was good at making relationships, but I didn't understand the business side of things. I didn't understand other things that would have really helped me move the needle in other areas. And when you're starting to look at becoming an owner of a business or a partner in a business, you need to start to understand at least a little bit of each vertical of the business, whether it's operations or sales or marketing. And I say the biggest mistake a lot of folks make, I think, when they start a business is they want to be the employee of the business, right? And when you're the employee of the business, you're not going to grow. You actually have to be the marketing arm of your business. So as a business owner, you end up being the thing that grows your business, not that operates your business.
Correct.
And if you are stuck operating your business will not thrive.
100%.
So you have to put the pieces in place in order for you to go out and grow your business and not operate your business. And so that becomes a big difference maker for the majority of folks that I talk to that are trying to get into business. They really want to do the thing that they love, because that's what they did in the military, right? They enjoyed doing, being the guy that was told to go in that direction and point. So when they get into a leadership level, they realize that, okay, now I'm leading people. I get to do less of my job now. I have to do more admin, I have to do less of the sexy stuff, and I have to make sure that my people are taken care of. And it's very, very similar when you transition into business, right? So when you look at it from a leadership aspect, you're constantly trying to think of new and innovative ways that you can, combat the enemy or grow your business, right? So it all connects together. You just have to find the way that it meshes, and how your military experience gave you some sort of resilience or lesson that can be applied across both verticals.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, man. There's been a lot of lessons I had to learn when I got into business, because the factor of being the driver of the bus, right? Owning the business, driving the bus, hiring the right people to put them in the right seats on the bus to do the right jobs. As a business owner, you may have the passion to do something, but you may not be the best at it.
No.
That's why you hire people that are better at you than those particular tasks. Put them in those seats on the bus so that you can then use their skills as leverage to grow the business. And, in real estate, I see so many people, like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Dude, outsource that. I get it. It's tough and it's expensive, but guess what? It takes money to make money. You get a couple deals under your belt and then put that money into something higher.
And emphatically less expensive than you doing everything by yourself and not growing.
100%.
Yeah.
But they don't see it that way, right?
They don't understand business.
And a lot of people in my business, they're not business owners.
No.
They own a job.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And trying to get them to see the difference and trying to coach them up to understand, hey, you know what? You need to hire someone to go do this. You need to hire someone to go do that, so that you can focus on lead generation.
Yeah.
That's your whole job as a realtor, is lead generation.
Yeah.
Anything in sales,
and relationships.
Lead generation is it. And leads come from relationships.
100%.
And
you need to be at every event and everything you can possibly get your hands on. I mean, it's all about leverage. At the end of the day, it's all about leverage. You're one person, you have only so much time. You can work yourself to the bone 80 hours, 100 hours a week, and you can only get so much done. And within that same time frame, you're going to reach max capacity of what you're actually moving the needle on, right? Yep. Eventually you're going to reach a breaking point. You're going to start forgetting stuff. You're going to overwork yourself. You overextend yourself, and then other things in the business start falling apart.
Yep.
So if you don't deleverage yourself, start leveraging other people and other people's time, money, efforts, etc., to help grow your brand, your business, etc., I mean, you're not going to grow. You're actually going to be stagnant, and then eventually you'll fall off and die. It's just how 100%. It goes. Yeah.
100%. And it's dude, I see it so often. People are burnt out.
Yeah.
And then they give up.
Yeah.
And then they go get a job working for somebody else. And they may love what they do.
Yeah.
But, as a business owner, you have more freedom once you own the business and it's up and running, right? You know, and there's a story I remember reading. I don't know what book it was in. I don't know what training course it was in, but basically it talked about a person that owned a sandwich shop, and they made a certain amount of money. Let's just say $50,000 a year in profit. You know, how are they going to grow their business if they're working there 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week? You know, they have no way to do that. It's going to be stagnant and not grow. What they need to do is hire a manager for $35,000, $40,000 a year, and then go open another one, work there. Now you're making $10,000 in profit from this one, and you're making the 50 from the other one. And as that one grows and gets business, then you hire another manager to work there, and you replace yourself.
Yeah, you have to.
You know,
constantly.
And you're making less profit from each location now, but you now have multiple locations. And now you get to sit at home, spend time with your family, your kids, travel, you know, do everything that you need to do.
It takes time. It's a level of expansion, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Or go make more connections, start doing catering. You know,
100%.
build up a different vertical of your business.
100%. Well, speaking of business, let's talk about your business.
Sure.
Pass. Tell me a little bit about it. How to start, how'd you get involved, and what does it do?
Yeah, well, originally it started as a very small, like, regional thing, and it was just supposed to be, it was originally called Nash Pass, and it was really just going to be a kind of a VIP, you know, perks program for people in Nashville. You could come to Nashville, and we had participating businesses, and as long as you had your little Nash Pass, you paid $20 for it, it was like a physical card. You could go into any participating location, and they'd give you whatever the discount was that they were, you know, had agreed to. So it's kind of like a school's sort of program, like for a sports kind of a thing. That's not where we took the idea from. We just thought, well, this would be neat. And it was funny because we spawned that out of, well, I should say my brother, he owned a media company, and there were, you know, podcasts and radio and a bunch of stuff, but very difficult to monetize your following, right? They were getting millions of impressions, but as far as sponsors and other things like that, you know, it's very difficult to get someone to agree to pay money to be on the podcast or advertise on the podcast, whatever it was. So they used this as a way to, like, well, let's sell these membership cards for people in Nashville, and then that'll be residual income, right? So when we started talking to business owners, one of them came to us and said, hey, you know, this is a really good idea. If I sold these on premise, would you guys just give me money? And we were like, well, what do you think? They're like, well, half. Why not half, right? And we're like, well, it cost us nothing. All we had to do was go form the relationship, get them to agree to a deal, put them in the thing, and promote it. So we said, yeah, sure, why not? And then we went to all the other businesses that we were talking to at the time. And we said, hey, would you guys consider doing this? And they're like, absolutely. We'd love to do that. So we sat down, we talked about it more, and we said, well, why don't we make it an app? And let's not localize it. You know, eventually we can globalize it, but we can definitely start regionally, then nationally, et cetera. Let's just build out these marketplaces. You know, what business owner doesn't want free marketing? Right. So the premise of it and our entire core mission statement is keep every business in business. And the way to do that is to offer them a free marketing platform. So they have full autonomy and control. We give them their own dashboard. They get to go in. They can schedule daily deals, you know, weekly promotions, events, whatever they want. And they can actually set everything. When it goes live, when it comes down, how often it can be used. Like, hey, this, you know, each user can only use it twice and then it expires. So they can set up any kind of deal that they want. So it's a really, really neat tool for businesses to use. But it will actually help grow an entire new revenue stream for them, right? A lot of businesses and companies in general, they're trying to move to a subscription-based. Problem is the value proposition has to be pretty high because people are already tired of all the different subscriptions, right? You got 15 different streaming platforms. They all have shows, but they have different shows. You feel like, yeah, it's my favorite one's on here. I'll get this one this month or whatever the case may be. But in order to get someone to subscribe to something, the value prop has to be very high. So what we did is we went out and built a marketplace, right? So people will subscribe to marketplaces. They're not necessarily going to subscribe to the one-off brand unless they're like diehard for that place. Like, would you pay $5 a month just for McDonald's? Like,
no.
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't even go there.
But some folks might, right? If they knew that they got a free upgrade to a fry and a drink every time they went, and all they had to pay was $5 for the month, well, then they might, right? If they're already a diehard fan. But what we've done is we've amassed 3,000 businesses across the U.S. Our core markets: Atlanta, Nashville, Chicago, Boston, Twin Cities, and San Diego. So across those 6 places, we've got over 3,000 businesses that have the ability to go in there, add a deal, and honor the deal. Super simple. So as long as you have your subscription, that $5 a month, you get access to the full marketplace. Now, if you're a business owner and you want to offer someone the ability to use the app and say, hey, this is kind of our VIP loyalty program. This is where all of our discounts live. This is where you're going to get all that information from. Join the app. If you're the referral partner, we'll give you half of that person's revenue, subscription revenue, every single month. So now you can build an entire new revenue stream for yourself without really touching your core business model. All you have to do is find a clever way to implement it into your current sales flow.
Right.
Very simple.
I was at a shop the other day, and it was buy 3, get 1 free. They had a piece of paper, highlighter written down.
Yep.
And I was
punch
like,
card.
why aren't you guys doing like some kind of loyalty program? They're like, well, we have 5-star.
It's expensive.
Right.
Right.
And I asked her how much, and she said $189 a month.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. And I was like, well, hey, there's this app called PassPass. Right. Because you told me about it. And I was like, it's free.
Yeah.
He said it cost the customer $5. She's like, people don't want to pay. I said, but they do.
Yeah.
I said, because if they're coming often enough, that $5 a month is going to be superseded by the value that you're giving them in the deals.
We have plenty of businesses that are direct paid. Like we do a lot of 30-day free trials and things like that so people can see the value prop and they go, yeah, I'm definitely renewing next month, right? I mean, the average person just from registering is saving $15, $20 just from registering, depending on what business they register at. But Dirty Birds, for example, right? They got 6 locations out here in San Diego. You can get Monday through Friday half off wings during certain hours just by having a PassPass membership. Once a month, you can get a half off a smash burger. I don't know how often it is, but you can get like a buy one, get one half off beer or multiple times. So they've got different things that you can take advantage of for being a recurring customer there. And it's the same thing.
It saves you more than the $5.
Yeah, way more. I mean, if you go there once a week during their, the time frame where you can get half off, you're saving potentially $10 instantly.
So how are you marketing this to businesses?
I mean, it's a lot of just hand to hand. We just walk in, we ask for the owner, the GM, at least off the bat. That's what we did. Me specifically, I built San Diego market completely by myself.
Okay.
And then we basically handed it off to our partner here. He's an investor and a partner in PassPass. His name's Mike Kessler. He's located in Pacific Beach, and he owns a couple other businesses. He's an entrepreneur, but now he runs the San Diego market. So he's kind of taking it off my hands, and I can focus on bigger picture, top of funnel, biz dev, things like that, marketing. Okay. But now he's in control of that. He's adding new businesses. He's working directly with the business owners. But we do a lot of referrals, man. Almost everything is referral based. When a company finds out that we can give them a lift, 1%, 2%, 3% lift, just by having them refer people into a loyalty program that then actually gets them to come back more.
And they get paid from it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a really powerful tool. I think, once businesses really catch on to what we're doing, and more importantly, the users catch on to what we're doing, because not only are we going to get them access to all these different savings, but we also have started to take our money that we're making from corporate side, and we're putting it back into the community again in the forms of like giveaways and sweepstakes. So we're partnering with more brands. Brands are now coming and saying like, hey, I want to give away like a year's supply of our product, like of water or coffee or vodka, for example. And 5 or 10 other people will just get a sample pack of it. And we're like, okay, great, let's do it. So we'll throw $1,000 cash at that, plus a year's supply of whatever product someone wants to give away. And so brands are like chomping at the bit to get access to those users, and then we also promote that on socials too. So we'll do paid ads against that. So it's a whole fun initiative. So users get access to it. As long as you have your membership, you get to go pretty much once a day. Say, yeah, I want an entry into this today again. So you can just enter yourself in.
Are you guys going to be auctioning off any Lambos or?
We're actually about to do a Dodge Challenger.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we haven't even announced that yet.
Because I see those, I think it's 8080 and a couple other brands.
8080 Speed Society, they do all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it's very niche, what we'd like to do, supercar every once in a while because it's all, cool. But, not everybody has the need or the use. A lot of those supercars, they get one and sold instantly because people can't afford them.
That's crazy.
Can't afford the maintenance, they can't afford the insurance, they pay your taxes. Right, so that's why it's like win this Lambo in 20 grand because they're paying your taxes. Yeah. You're not actually taking home $20.
You're right.
Right, but or you are, but you better save it because then you got to pay taxes on it, right?
Yeah.
And then you got maintenance. I mean, an oil change in a McLaren like I have is $1,500.
I did it myself.
Yeah, which you can do, right? Which you can also do, right? But that's the point. Like, if you've never owned a supercar, you have no idea.
It was a pain though.
Yeah.
You got to drain it from 4 spots.
Yeah.
On a McLaren.
Yeah.
The Lambo, the Huracan, I believe is 8 to 10 spots.
A Huracan? Yeah, I heard it was like extremely simple. From what I heard,
there's a lot. It's simple, but there's a lot of places you have to.
Gotcha.
To know to drain it from.
Yeah, they're like $400 for an oil change for a Huracan. My buddies, from what they're telling me, I don't know.
So we used to charge $15 for.
Oh my gosh.
For a Huracan.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, any super.
Because I was a part owner in an exotic repair shop.
Okay. But I mean that's the cost of ownership. So what we'd like to do is give away actual cars that people can drive and use on a daily basis, right? So we'd like to get in the habit of, give away something cool every once in a while. But how cool would it be to give away like a Kia Telluride once a month, or like a Jeep or whatever, like give it to someone in need. A
Suburban for a family that has a big family.
Yeah, so as we start
make
to
a requirement,
scale,
you have to have at least 6 kids.
right. As we start to scale, we would love to do that kind of stuff and do it in each market. Once we get into all 50 states and we're a bit ubiquitous, we can do a different giveaway in every single state because the market would essentially pay for itself in order to do that. Man. Yeah.
That's awesome. So the app's called PassPass.
PASS.
And it's both in the Android store and the Apple store?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. Awesome. What is one of the biggest challenges that you have faced in trying to scale this business?
Early on, it was so funny because we would go and we would talk to a business owner and they'd be like, this is awesome. We need something like this. This is great. So we built this huge marketplace. Like I said, close to 3,000 businesses before we launched. Now we're well over 3,000, but just under 3,000 businesses before we launched the app. And we really thought, because every business owner we talked to was like, we can't wait for this to go live. We're going to tell everybody about it. We're going to get everybody to get a membership. We're going to offer deals and discounts, yada. Well, and then we went live and the business owners were like, well, I got to train my staff. And the hardest part has been getting business owners to just literally do the thing they said they would do. Right? So they see the potential in it, but they don't want to do the work because it's actually more work for them. Mm-hmm. They don't want to put in like the additional effort to hold themselves or their staff accountable in a lot of cases.
They could legit just put up a sign, download this app and get free this.
Yeah, I mean there is the passive way to do it, right? As long as it's good and it's eye-catching.
As long as they did something.
But as long as they did something, and some of those places are starting to do that a bit more now, and it is actively passively working, right? Okay. But the most aggressive ones it's like part of their flow. It's like, hey, you ordered wings. Do you want them half off? And they're like, yeah, cool, scan. Or you're at the checkout counter and they're like, you've ordered coffee. Do you want this for free today? And they go, well, yeah, cool, scan, right? So as long as you just come up with an aggressive way, but it's not overly aggressive, but as long as you come up with an aggressive way to at least mention it, you'll be able to make some serious money off of it. And I was telling you before, we started this, but there's a place called Birdie Golf, which our CEO, he's actually a part owner in that. So it's kind of like a test bed for us. We're like, hey, if you really aggressively implement this, like how much money can you make? And so over the last 3 months, he's implemented as part of their flow. If you walk into Birdie Golf, you must join. You have to scan and download. It's like their waiver, essentially. And they have a 3% lift in business. I mean, they got a check for almost $3,000 this month, right? And so when you look at that, they're a very seasonal business because Woodbury, Minnesota, 6 months out of the year is miserable. So during that 6 months, they're an indoor digital golf facility. Everybody's in there playing digital golf and eating and drinking and doing all that stuff. When it's nice out, they're at the actual golf course. Right. So for them, during the off season, they're only making $150,000 profit throughout the year because the rest of their money is keeping them in business while they have no business through the door. So they're now getting a 3% lift from a subscription revenue that people are sustaining on because they don't just get a discount there, they get a bunch of places all over.
But they signed up there, so they get the revenue.
Precisely. And because we're always working on retention efforts through giveaways and all these other fun things that we're doing for the users, we're basically paying all the money to retain them. All they have to do is get them in.
That's pretty awesome.
When a business understands really what we're doing, they're going to be I think they'll be more aggressive about pursuing it.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. What recommendation do you have for a vet that's going to get out and wants to start a business? What would you recommend as their starting point?
Oh, man. It really depends on the business. There's not like a one-size-fits-all blanket recommendation for someone. As far as recommendation, I don't know. I mean, expect it to be emphatically harder than anything you've ever done.
100%.
Because in the military, whether you went through a selection course or you went on deployment and whatever you did, you at least had a schedule, You knew everything that was planned out for you.
Where you were going to go, what time you had to be there.
Yeah, you may have planned the mission, but you were told what mission to plan, right?
The op board comes down,
right?
Go.
Yeah. You know, so all that stuff in business, you know, you're constantly flying by the seat of your pants, and if you don't have good mentorship, you're going to get hosed quickly.
So would you recommend that as number one, find a good mentor?
I would say definitely do a tremendous amount of homework. Don't start anything right away until you've really got a decent amount of information under your belt and you understand really what you're getting yourself into. And I think a mentor is you know, a pertinent part of that process, for sure. I mean, you know, if you got to put it, you know, one thing, yeah, I would say get a mentor, someone who's done it before, someone who knows the ins and outs, whether it's your exact vertical or just business in general. If you're not willing to put in the work to learn about business and what it really is going to take in order to be successful and profitable, and how long that might take, then definitely don't get yourself into it, because you'll burn out really, really quickly.
Real quick.
Really, really quickly. And you need help.
Yeah.
You can't do it alone. Just like the military.
Yeah.
You know,
it takes a team.
It does. It really does.
You know, it's funny, man, because like, you know, I had really good mentors when I first started. One of my buddies got out of the Navy a few years before me. He was working an IT job in Phoenix, and he was making maybe like $70K a year. And he was paying all these student loans. He had a master's, and just, it was crushing him.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, I'm gonna get my real estate license, do it part-time, and just so I can make some extra money to pay off these loans. And he started doing really well. He was like, I'm making more money part-time selling real estate than I am working this IT job for the city of Phoenix.
Yeah.
Screw this. And I'd say probably 10 years after that, he became the company Open Door. You ever heard of them?
Of course.
Okay, so he was Open Door's preferred agent for all of Arizona.
Wow.
He was handling 400 listings a month. Yeah, and he wasn't making a lot of profit though, because they only give him a very small commission.
Of course,
for the volume.
It's volume, yeah.
But he had to hire 10 transaction coordinators, you know, all these people, admin staff.
Sure.
So his net was like $1,000 a transaction, right? Net. You know, but with the volume, that's 400 grand a month.
Yeah, that's what I was like, hey, none of this needs that.
He's doing good. But then he started having health problems, panic attacks, heart arrhythmias, because it's stress.
Of course.
So he was like, screw this, I'm done. I'm just gonna run my own. I'm not doing that no more. I'm just gonna do my own.
Yeah.
So now he's doing his own. He's still making really good money.
Sure.
But you know, there becomes a point in business. Like for me, the biggest challenge, was finding work-life balance.
Oh yeah.
Right. Finding that, you know, how much money is enough money that I could still spend enough time with my family and have sanity. Right. Because there was 1 month where I did 19 transactions. Right. Sold 19 houses in 1 month, dude. It was crazy.
That's aggressive.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And it was in December.
Yeah.
Christmas time.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't spend
But they were super happy.
Yeah, it was a good Christmas.
Well, I meant like that they didn't spend any time with you. I was being facetious.
Oh, okay. But that was the biggest month. And it was a great month, but the stress that I had, man, the lack of sleep, the frantic calls from buyers and sellers consistently, 19 deals, dude, and all done before Christmas in the month of December. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. And I realized then I never want to do that much business again in my life.
Yeah.
You know, was the money good? Sure. But it was not good enough for me to sacrifice my health and my relationship with my kids.
You know, it's funny because I've never been aggressively money motivated. I like nice things. Don't get me wrong. Like I have the car I have. I have nice things. But I like nice things because I like to take care of my things, right? So I'm not motivated to the fact it's like, I want to make $1 million so I can buy this particular car because like that's what motivates me. That's not what juices me up.
Yeah.
What juices me up, frankly, and I think that you know, a lot of people miss the mark on here when they talk about like how much money they want to make and all these other things. I am just so sick of working with poor people, like poor mindset people.
There you go.
Right? Not like I don't care if you don't have money. It's not the point. Like the military is filled with negative people with poor mindsets, and they don't like being at home. They will try to make people stay at work longer because they want to avoid their own house, so they use work as an excuse.
I know some chiefs like that.
Yeah. There's plenty of them, right? And so for me, I just don't want to be beholden to anybody. Yeah. I want to be on my own time, my own schedule, to do the things that mean the most to me, and have enough money to do what I want, when I want, with who I want, right? So whatever that looks like. And that, depending on your lifestyle, it could be $10,000 a month, it could be $20,000 a month, $50,000 a month, whatever really you want to scale. But yes, maintaining that work-life balance is super important, because if you're just, all you're doing is working all the time and thinking about work, like, where's your time for other things?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Where's your joy? Where's your happiness? It just doesn't make sense.
No.
You know, and you know, in conjunction with what you're talking about, you know, the poor mindset, that scarcity mindset of where they have to hold on to everything that they have, instead of being willing to let it go.
It's fear-based.
Right? Yeah, 100%.
Well, they don't understand, like, what you put your energy to is where your focus
exactly
is where it goes.
Exactly. The scarcity mindset compared to an abundant mindset. When you have an abundant mindset, things come to you.
100%.
When you have a scarcity mindset, things leave you.
Yeah.
You know, and
how could you afford that? I'll be good. I'll make it work.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
It's not irresponsible. I'm not like literally going like, oh, this month I'm going to spend every dime that I bring in, right? But it's like, you know what? I can buy that. You know why? Because I'm going to fucking make something else happen.
Right.
I'll bring in more money.
I'm going to go bust my butt.
Exactly.
Now I have a reason to go work hard.
Right.
You know, and it kills me, man, with, like you said, that the negativity and all that kind of stuff, man. For me, you know, it's not purely a dollar amount.
Nah.
Right? It's never been a dollar amount.
Yeah.
For me, it's a legacy that I want to leave to my kids. Right? I want to leave them an empire that they can take over, because I have a fear that our society is going so digital, so AI, that most of the jobs that 90% of the population can get, because they don't have the technical expertise or the personality to get into sales or something like that. They have to do a service job or construction, you know, manual labor. A lot of that stuff is going to turn AI or robotics.
Yeah,
right.
And quality assurance in order to make sure that happens.
So there's not going to be the abundance of jobs that we have today. So we are going to switch to some sort of...
Well, service-based industry is always going to be there. You know, plumbers, construction, things like that. You know,
but some of our people aren't, you know, mentally capable, right, or physically capable, coordinated to handle those kinds of jobs. So let's just be honest, not everybody's smart enough to do that, right? Yeah. And I believe my children are, but at the same point, I don't know yet, right? So I got to set them up so that they can take over something, have passive income, to where that they are good no matter what happens with the economy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I'm looking for me. That's my reason to push. That's my reason to go. That's what juices me up, is I'm going to leave something for them. They're going to leave it for their kids. And each generation needs to grow it. Yeah. And if they don't grow it, then they failed. But hopefully by that time, I'm in the ground and gone. You know, because I don't want to be disappointed. Yeah. You know, because that'll break me for everything that I put in for this. Yeah. There's no way that I could just let it fall to shit.
You know, it's funny because it's such a double-edged sword, because you spend, at least from my perspective, and I'm sure this is something you've thought about, but you put all this time into building and growing the business side of things. For me, I want to leave my kids the same legacy, but I also don't want to hand them anything. Like I caught my son talking about the car that I own. I'm like, don't ever tell anybody about the things that I own. They're my things. They're my things to talk about. And one, I don't even like talking about it. It's taboo, and it's and also, if you're telling people about the things I own, for what? So
why are you bragging?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, one, they ain't yours, and two,
you didn't earn it.
Like, yeah, and two, like, if you're telling people because you think they'll like you more, that makes you cool, like, any type of friends you want anyways.
Right, exactly.
So for me, it's about leaving him with the right set of tools to make sure that he makes good decisions and he's well-rounded. And so if I do turn something over to him, I trust that he'll actually grow it correctly, you know? And even if I don't turn something, let's say I just sell my business off and I make him fend for himself, well, I taught him everything he needs to know so that he can grow something himself.
You know, it's funny, man. I tax my kids.
That's a great idea.
Like right now, I tax them. Like when they're like, "Oh, Dad, can I get a snack?" I'm like, "Yeah, what you want?" And they're like, "Oh, Dino Nuggets or something, right?"
Dino Nuggies.
Or Spam Wasubi, you know. And so I'll make it and everything, and I'll put the plates down, and I'll be like, "Come eat," and they'll come sit down to eat, and I'll be like, "Wait, stop." I'll pick up one of each, and I'll take a bite out of each, and I'll put it back down. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Tax."
Yeah.
And they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
The first time I did it, man, they're like, what do you mean? Why are you taxing me? What do you mean? So I started explaining to them, like, hey, when we work,
Someone just eats off our plate.
The government takes money away from us. When I go buy something at the store, the government takes money from us. Mm-hmm. You know, when I pay an employee, the government takes money from us.
And
so
him.
Yeah, and you. So you need to understand what tax is.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm already putting in their heads to get into business, take over business, you know, and understanding that. And dude, my 10-year-old's super into politics right now. I'm just like,
it's so funny what kids just get wrapped up in.
I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, just go play Fortnite.
Yeah. Please stop talking about politics.
Yeah.
One, you can't even comprehend what you're actually talking about.
You can't even vote.
Yeah.
Shut up. In 8 years, we could talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm already instilling the same values that I have into my kids by teaching them the taxes and, you know, things like that. And, you know, why you shouldn't ever get anything for free. Why you need to earn everything.
You have to.
You know, they're like, oh, can I have this? You can earn it.
Yep.
How am I going to earn it? Well,
suck less. Yeah.
Well, the lawn needs to get mowed.
100%.
Right. The
take out the trash, clean the bathroom.
Yep. All that stuff. Yep. So when you start doing these things by yourself.
Yep. Autonomously.
And not being told to do them, you will be rewarded with the things that you want.
It's funny because I'm definitely misquoting. I don't know the exact percentage, but I was looking at a study not too long ago, and it said something like 70% of children who have chores grow up to be happier, more task-oriented, more successful. Basically, it instills a sense of meaning for them when they're very young.
Dude, I see it. Yeah. I see the difference between my house and
we won't get into that, but
right. But like they have chores, responsibilities at my house.
Yeah.
Over there, they do not.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like a whole adjustment period.
Right.
For like 2 days, they're you know, they'll come and they're disobedient.
Little mouthy. Little not affectionate.
They complain.
Yeah.
I have to take out the trash. Like,
mine aren't bad with that part though. Mine are actually pretty good. Like, when they get home from school today, because I get them today.
Yeah.
They get home, drop their bags.
Yeah.
Get a snack.
Yeah.
Dog poop and leaves.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Right? And they'll, okay.
Yeah.
And they'll run and get their shoes, and it's a team effort for them.
Yeah.
So I have artificial turf in the backyard, right?
Yeah.
And I have one of those.
You have a backyard, dude?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
You don't have a backyard?
Where do you live?
Bonita. There's actually ashes all over my house right now from the fires.
Dude.
But we have one of those turf brushes.
Yeah.
It looks like a lawnmower, but it's a brush.
Yep.
Right? So the 10-year-old will pick up dog poop, and then the 7-year-old goes out, hooks up the thing, and mows up all the leaves and cleans up the backyard. Yeah. And, you know, they get all excited. And then they'll tell us, because before we've caught them, they haven't done a really good job. So they'll come, hey, come check, we're done. You know, okay, so we go outside and check. All right, good job.
Yeah.
You can go play now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But they're proud of it.
Yeah, they're proud.
They're proud of the work they did.
I did a good job.
Yeah, they're proud because you are proud of them.
Yeah, I'm validating everything that they're doing.
Exactly.
And it's funny because same thing with brushing their teeth.
Yep.
Right? When they go brush their teeth and they're done, if it was, sometimes it's a little fast, I'm like, come here, let me smell your breath. Hit it again.
Yeah.
Right? And then the other one will come over, I'm good. And I'm like, you're good. Yes! You know, and they get all excited because they know they did a good job.
It's a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
When you don't give your kids anything to do, they think that they can just float through life and things will get handed to them eventually. Right. And if they don't, it's because they're a victim.
And then they get that entitled mindset, right? Where, oh, well, I should have this. Why? I should get free college. Why should you get free college?
People just, there's like a big movement now to like talk about everybody's feelings and how everything makes people feel, and that kids should be able to make decisions and they should have feelings and they should be validated. It's like, dude, they don't even know what these feelings mean yet.
Right.
They haven't grown into their body. If you validate them, then you're only deepening the emotional connection that they have to things that should not make them emotional.
I wanted a pet dragon as a kid, right?
What's the problem?
They don't exist, one.
Make one,
right?
Dad.
Right, but here's the thing. Like, they don't exist,
yeah.
Right? And how are you going to validate that? Or you can't, because it doesn't exist, right? Let me have my wants and needs, but guess what? I shouldn't be able to try to manipulate my parents or society to believe that I should be able to have what I have, even though it doesn't exist.
Right.
You know, and, you know, with these children nowadays, they're teaching them so many things at school that is out of this world. Yeah. A Common Core math, for one. Right.
Yeah, that's a weird one for me. I still don't get it.
I looked at that. And
thankfully, they don't teach that at my son's school.
They don't teach it anymore at mine. But it was just,
It's the most confusing thing in the world.
4x equals something. And then you have to give all the different options of what could equate to that. And it was like...
Well, I remember doing it. It was like even more confusing.
Yeah.
I like...
But you had to break
what you
down.
just said actually kind of makes sense.
Right.
Like,
but it was worse than that, though. That was actually, I think, the answer.
Yeah.
You know? And I was just looking at it and I was like, this is stupid. You know? And it's funny because my fiance, the 7-year-old, wanted help with his homework. And I looked at her, I said, you got it? And she was like, it's math. I said, yeah, it's first grade. When he hits third grade, I'm gonna have to do it from there on through high school. And she was like, you right, I got it.
You remember long division?
Yeah.
Because I don't.
Yeah. She's like, it's not fair, you're good at math. And I was like, hey, you know, in business, you gotta be good at math.
You have to.
It's ones and zeros. And it's funny because, do you use calculus in your business?
Calculus?
Yeah.
Me personally, no. But I can guarantee you the guy that I hired from MIT to do all of my back-end stuff, absolutely. He's a walking spreadsheet.
The app stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But not in day-to-day business.
Me personally, no.
Right.
I'm like,
I don't even think accountants do it.
Oh, no.
Right?
Oh, no.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a required course for an MBA.
It's, yeah, I mean, well, again, you know,
So
a lot of education up to a certain point is really non-educational for day-to-day life. I mean, they don't teach you balancing.
It's all
they don't
profit.
Teach you, yeah, of course.
Like I had to take a history class, and then now I either have to take Asian American history or Mexican American history for a business degree. And I'm just
I mean, history is great, but it's like, how does maybe I'm missing something. But how does Asian American or Mexican American business history help me be a better?
It's not even business history; it's just history for the business degree. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand auxiliary courses. I mean, I never did college.
I think it's so ridiculous.
I mean, I did college. I did an associate's degree, and I didn't quit that.
I think we could turn a master's degree into less than 4 years.
Of course you can, but they don't get the same amount of money.
Yeah. If we got rid of all the BS that didn't have to do with that degree.
We can't get rid of the BS. It's a BS degree, dude.
Like Alyssa here, she got a degree, right?
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, there's certain courses she didn't need to take to learn what she needed for her degree.
I just, you know, there's so, like, go to the, we joke, University of Bombs and Bullets, because it's like, it's the only thing that you really need. You need the bombs and the bullets to be a good operator, right? So, you know, we spend so much time on things that are not going to move the needle for our business, for our life, for anything, because we have a false sense of importance placed on it by society.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And decision makers, whoever's up here,
yeah,
puppeteering.
It's crazy because, you know, speaking of like things we spend time on, I actually created a journal. It's on Amazon. It's called Time Blocking for Success.
Ah, nice.
Right? And it's 365 days. And at the end of each day, basically you have your time slots that you fill in, and then you have an accountability spot at the bottom where you have to put in why you didn't or why you did accomplish it, because you have to put your goals in there.
Yeah.
So your goals are split into, it's a 1-year goal, broken down into monthly
increments,
goals, which are broken down into weekly mini goals.
I like that.
Right? So that way it's easier to accomplish. Hey, this week I have to do this, next week I have to do this, next week I have to do this, and then this will be complete.
Yeah.
Right? And at the end of each month, I have like a motivational speech in there. Like, hey, you did your first month. Great job. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep going.
It's like proper planning.
Yeah.
A goal without a plan is just dreaming.
Exactly, man. But so many people don't want a time block, and they don't understand that, hey, time blocking is essential to success.
Well, they don't understand it.
That's why we have calendars.
Yeah.
Right? And I put in there, you know, breakfast with kids, wake up 7 a.m., 8 a.m., right? 8 a.m. to 8:30, prep kids to leave the house. You know, 8:30 to 9, taking kids to school. You know, 9 to whatever, you know, follow up, cold call, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's autonomous for me because I did it for so many years. But yeah, I mean, I guess I take that for granted, you know? Yeah. And the reason I do is because I used to write down everything. It was something one of my early mentors told me. It was like, look, I know you have a phone, you know, all these things, but it's nothing but a distraction. And even now, it's something I catch myself doing. I'll open my phone to do something, and because the last thing I was doing on my phone wasn't work, it was like I had social media up.
You're like, oh,
so it automatically opens Facebook or it opens whatever, and I go, oh shit, there's a fire. Like it just happened earlier today. And I'm like, what did I open my phone for? Right? So you immediately forget. So, or what you can do is you have something that's with you at all times, and its only purpose, the only reason you take it out is to write something down so that you can get it done later. And that's the power of, when you're starting something new and you don't have these proper habits yet, and you don't know how to manage your time, and let's say you do have good habits, but you want to get back in a better mindset or frame of work, writing things down and having something by your side at all times, and that's its only purpose. Your phone has a million purposes. Phone calls, text messages, social media, this, that, the other, games, emails, whatever, right? So when you take out the phone, there's a high likelihood that you're going to get thrown off track. If you take out this binder or this book or this journal or whatever, and you open it up, it's with the explicit intent to write down the one thing that you were thinking about at that moment. So for people forming new habits, I think that's a really good idea.
And that's why I created it, man. You know what I mean? It's just, people need a way to actually start. I think that's one of the first skills that you really need to be successful, is learning how to block out your calendar.
Yeah. Respect your own time.
Yeah, exactly. And
plan your day.
I even put in there family time. Like, this is family time.
Yeah.
Like, phone gets put away. I don't work. Don't
Intimacy time too, like sexy time, 9:30.
That's another. We don't put that.
9:03.
9:03. Nah, man, 9:04. But no, it's just we have to have those boundaries for ourselves.
You do.
Because we will not respect ourselves.
Yeah, it's true.
We get distracted by everything.
Yeah. So. You'll dive into everything, and I'm guilty of it. When my girl's not around, I'll answer phone calls, emails, everything until I accidentally fall asleep with my phone in my hand. You know what I mean? Like I'll literally I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and go, oops.
Let me charge this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So I'm guilty of it. I'm always on. I'm always available.
I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I learned during that month in December where I had to put boundaries on clients, escrows, title, other agents.
Yeah.
If another agent calls me after 8 o'clock, I'm not answering the phone.
Yeah.
You're right. Like, you can text me and I will respond at 7 a.m. in the morning when I wake up.
Yeah. Like if I'm with family or my girl, like I try to be very intentional about let me put it aside. When I'm alone though, because I don't mind, it's different, but when there's other people involved and I want to be cognizant of them and take care of them, I do make a concerted effort to make sure that my time with them is my time with them.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. Well, man, thanks for everything, brother.
Likewise, man. Thanks
Appreciate you coming on, man. Yeah. Hey, so for all y'all out there, if you want discounts, you got to go to the App Store and download PassPass. All right? This app is going to change the way that businesses do business, because it's going to keep customers coming back to the business and not cost the business anything and make the business money. So if you have a business out there and you're pushing to get more business to grow a little bit, check out PassPass and see if it'll work for you. Yep. And if you need to contact Kris, I'll have his information below and you can shoot him a DM. Yep. Thanks for watching.
Right on.